Okay, hi guys, welcome back to another review, and this time we're taking a look at the new EJ07m from Shuoer. If you're new at the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You'll automatically be entered into our monthly giveaways. This month we're giving away a set of the Blonde Prometheus, and leading up to Christmas we're going to try and give away some crazy expensive earphones to our subscribers. Also, if you're subscribed, you can just leave a comment down below and ask for direct head-to-head. So if you want to see the EJ07 in a grand battle with the other Tribrids, hybrids and sort of things, we can do that. We can put together the Roland, the Duno EST, the The-Audio Excalibur, the The-Audio Oracle. We can put them all together, Monarch, so on, and we can do a Tribrid shootout. Basically, whatever you want to see. If you're a subscriber, leave a comment, say I want to see this cable versus this cable, this headphone versus this headphone, this DAC versus this DAP, whatever you want. I'm going to try and do it with the idea to give you head-to-head realistic comparisons. As I've said in my other reviews, it's all good me saying these are spacious, very detailed. How spacious, how detailed are they compared to something else in its price point? I think that's going to be a better way. If you listen to the same sort of earphones, headphones as me, that's probably going to be a better way for you to go about choosing something. You know, if you've got somebody directly comparing two things at the same price point you're considering, and you like the way I listen to music, that can give you some value, I think, or I can raise some points, which I'm going to raise today in the terms of the Tribrid marketplace right now. So this is the Shuoer EJ07m. I had the original Shuoer EJ07 and it was a fantastic headphone. The crazy thing about this one is I believe it's $200 cheaper. It is tuned, in my mind, better, and it has, for the most part, it has the same driver configuration and stuff, but you seem to be getting more value for money. Now, you're getting more value for money in terms that Shuoer were one of the first to come out with the Tribrid earphones. Now in this marketplace you have The-Audio, Duno, you know, a whole stack of chi-fi companies bringing out Tribrid earphones and multi-driver hybrids and so on. It's not the same space that they were competing in, so don't look at that price point as like, oh, I'm getting an $800, $850 earphone for $600. Yeah, you kind of are, but they've came down in line with the price that the other companies are offering it at. This fits in with the market right now in terms of, I don't think it's necessarily any better or any worse than, say, a The-Audio Oracle. I really like this, but there's a couple of things, good and bad, that we're going to discuss about this. So this is a 4 EST, so 4 electrostatics. It has 2 Sonion balanced armatures for the mids, and it has a 10mm dynamic driver. So you're kind of picking and choosing the best points, the ESTs for the highs, the balanced armatures for the mids, and then you're getting that impactful bass slam from the dynamic driver down at the bottom. I really like these designs. I'm Tribrid all the way at this point. I really think that Tribrids and ESTs and even the planers, some of the planers, sure do a cheap planer. I think it's the Tape Pro, banging set of headphones. So box, really simple design, kind of nice. Nothing too fancy. It lets you know that there's Knowles and Sonion in there. Actually, Knowles and Sonion, so it's probably Knowles are doing the ESTs, I would reckon. Oh no, Sonion ESTs, Sonion balanced armatures, and I don't know. Anyway, box is nice. The only thing is Impulse the Emotion. Yet again, another Chinese company making something with no sense in English and putting it on with Google Translate. Now, what I really like about the packaging and accessories, now I've repackaged these. I only briefly used the cable on this because we'll talk about that in a second. They put a little bit about the company. This is sort of the mission statement, I would guess. You get this little paper over the top. We'll talk about this. Actually, let's talk about this right now. You get the EJ07 album mass production version. Now, a lot of chi-fi companies, you don't know anything about them, you don't know anything about their history, you don't know anything about their intentions, their past product lines, what they've done. Have they been making cheap stuff? They've been making headphones? Have they been OEMing for somebody else? Usually you have nothing about them. So in this sense, I really like that Shuoer have put together this brochure in English, and it's well written. And it just tells you a little bit about the history of the company. That Shuoer Acoustic was founded in Dongguan. At Shuoer, we take pride in discovering the best possible sonic materials, painstakingly tweaking the parameters for the natural listening experience, and extracting every ounce of soul from the music to the end user. Our core of engineers have over 20 years of headphone engineering experience, and that shows in the products that they've produced so far. In this, you also get a little bit about their mission statements. But what I like is they explain the tuning and the goals for this earphone. And then if you go in, a little bit about the cable. So you just get a little bit about the history of the company, forming a little bit more of a connection, not to make them seem like a lot of these companies just seem like pop up and disappear companies. So I really like that little touch, and it's way better than the absolutely lunatic thing that Canera have done with the Scald. Go and watch the Scald video and you'll see what I'm talking about with the marketing bump that they've put in, all about Norse gods and so on. So in here, this actually comes inside this case. This is just a little cleaning tool to help keep them clean. Put that off to the side. Warranty card that you'll never use, because if you're buying Chi-Fi earphones, I strongly suggest you buy from, if you can get them on Amazon, grab them on Amazon. Otherwise, go with companies like Linsol. I'll leave the link to Linsol down in the description. Linsol will take care of your warranty situation and help service it. For you to try and get a hold of one of these Chinese companies is just impossible. It's a non-starter. You need to go through the provider basically, and Linsol do a great job of providing aftercare support for their users. So ear tips, you get tons of ear tips. These are quite interesting. These are really soft. But they're very grippy. So usually I don't like soft ear tips, but I found that these were grippy enough to give a good seal, and they're very comfortable to use over long periods. This is more your standard sort of wider bore with a harder silicone on it, and a tiny little bump up in the base here, and then you get a little set of Comply style tips, which were fairly decent. They're not as good as real Complies, but they're fairly decent tips to be included. Now, what is really cool is the case. Shuoer have really cool cases anyway in most of their earphones. This is well thought out. It's incredibly well made. My only gripe with it is it's a little bit heavy. It does add a lot of heft, but it's an all metal, fully hard case. It's beautifully well made and engineered, and it's got this rubber insert so that it doesn't slide about on the table and doesn't scratch anything up. You can hear that is the opening on the top. It's all milled. It's got a rubber insert on the top, which is just a nice little touch as well. Stops the earphones rattling about on the inside, and it's rubber on the bottom and sides. I don't know if you can see that, but that is a nice little touch that companies that usually include metal cases just throw in a metal case, and then you bash your earphones up on the inside. This can rattle about and it's got enough cushioning on it. The cable, let's go ahead, take the earphones out, and we'll put the cable there. Earphones here, close that one over and get this out of the way. So the cable is not great. This is the negative I have for this, and some people will like it. It's not down to it being a bad cable in terms of construction or in terms of design. I just like something that flows a little bit better. It's extremely lightweight. That is one good thing it's got going for it. If we take this apart, it's a dual twist cable, and mostly I've been really liking cables with quad braids into dual twists after the splitter. This one, it performs well, but not as well as, let's see what we've got here. For example, this is the legacy cable. This is a $100 earphone, this is a $500 earphone. The cable on this, in my mind, is better. This is the Linsol Legacy 2 cable. And you can see it just rolls up better. It's a lot more resistant to tangling and it flows a lot better. This cable's fine and it gets the job done, but it's not really befitting of some of the other stuff you're in here. In here at this price point, you're dealing with a Duno EST, which comes with a version of the Hulk, sort of dumbed down version of the Hulk with interchangeable connectors. Similarly, FiO at this price are offering earphones with interchangeable connectors, and yeah, I just think that this is the one weak point on these earphones. It's not a deal killer, but it's the one weak point. Let's have a look at it. Right angle 3.5mm jack with no adapters in the box. It's got this really cool sort of clear design where you can see the inside workings. I like that. It's got strain relief. I like that. As I said, dual twist into single strands after the splitter. The splitter is here, it's a little metal guy, which is good, and it does have a cable cinch that matches with the jack point. Up at the top again, the connectors have this clear transparent, and they have the little ear hooks up the top there. So it's fine. It is not, what I'm saying is it's not a bad cable, but it could be better. And the competition at this price have some really good cables, especially The Audio. Great cables. In fact, I think the The Audio Excalibur came with 2 separate cables, one balanced and one standard, which just takes it above this. Now, the earphones. This is where it starts to offer something a little bit different. What I don't like is that it's a 2-pin connector, but a lot of these Chi-Fi earphones are 2-pin connectors. I would have preferred to have seen an MMCX there, but it's an all-metal body. Now, why is this important? For people who don't like acrylics, this is the Kinera Skull. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous all balanced armature driver headphone. But a lot of these Tribrids come, let's see, I think this is a Tribrid, the Roland. When you drop one of these, this is quite a brittle material and it could be prone to cracking or snapping. It doesn't happen often, but it's something to consider. Metal will always win out in terms of durability. And for this, it's just really, really well made. It's simple, it's nice, it's well designed, and it's not too heavy. It has this beautiful sort of crushed carbon finish with gold flake on it. It's reminiscent of the knives that I'm using just now. I think it's a Kaiser knife that I use, and it's got this on the handle. It's a really, really nice looking design, and it looks great in the ears. It's a small earphone, and it doesn't have the longest bore length. For example, if you look at the 2 lengths of the bores on it, this one goes far deeper into the ear, this sits far shallower. Now that affects the sound. It makes the soundstage a little bit bigger on this one. Or not soundstage, but makes it more open and airy sounding. I find that I prefer a little bit more of a medium depth insertion, but for most people, if you're using good tips like the Final Audio E series or the tougher included tips in the box, this is going to work just fine. The construction, flawless, perfect. It's got the little grills on the end to stop ingress of dirt and dust. I like that. Now, that's the main difference. I don't think I've seen a Tribrid with a metal shell, and in terms of build quality, that's really, really nice. I mean, if you're going to hook this up and really pimp it out, you could be using this with the Duno. This is the Duno Hulk Pro cable, and that's a gorgeous looking little setup that you've got there. I really like that. I like the design of it, but I also like the design of the resin shells as well. Like the Audio ones are gorgeous, and what Kinera are doing is just stunning. In terms of sound, this hits all the right spots for me. It's got deep enough impactful bass. It's got really clear, open, and very, very detailed mids. And the treble is just pushed that a little bit further with a little bit better extension, more clarity, more detail than the original EJ07. It's a very, very, very competent earphone that's going to work well with a ton of genres. For me, I mainly listen to this with EDM, hip hop, trance, that sort of stuff. But I can listen to rock with it very easily, and with those EST drivers on the inside, classical sounds phenomenal with this. 1812 Overture by Tchaikovsky, absolutely outstanding separation if you get the Telarc version with the digital cannons, all that good stuff. That's the version you want to listen to with this. straight away you want to be listening to, let's go 2 Feet, what's the song? 2 Feet Quick Musical Doodles, to get an idea of the bass and the sub-bass response. Sub-bass response is excellent on this. For me, it's just deep enough. It's not extreme sub-bass, it's good sub-bass. It's not overwhelming sub-bass, and it remains very, very composed. The way they've tuned the low-end driver, it's really, really good, and it's fast and it's articulate even in the mid-bass. The mid-range, smooth but clear and detailed. Male vocals highlight on this one, as opposed to some of the other Tribrids kind of have an emphasis on female vocals. This is more male vocal focused thing, so it works great for rock, classic rock, acoustic rock, that sort of stuff. And actually with the spacing in the EST drivers on this, like something like Rodrigo Gabriela or Sunga Jung, the micro detail that gets picked up on it from finger slides along the fretboard and stuff is really, really, really cool. Even listen to Ludovici Einaudi live in concert. You can hear the pedal presses and the dampening of the strings from the piano. It's a really, really detailed and expansive sounding earphone. Now, so that said, I love the sound. The big thing in here is, do I love the sound more than what else is on offer? And to be honest, the EST Tribrids, there's so many options now, and there's going to be more options coming. I believe I have another one, something called the Zen, coming as well. I have that coming. I've had the, as I say, the Duno EST. I've had the Theaudio Excalibur, Monarch, Clairvoyance, and Oracle. The Oracle review is coming up, so subscribe for that. These just fit in perfectly with it. They're a refinement on the original of the EJ07. I wouldn't say you need to upgrade. If you have the original EJ07, don't upgrade. That's crazy. Keep the EJ07, or maybe take a side grade and try something different. This is more if somebody wants metal body instead of a resin body and wants that similar sort of EST sound. The tuning on this is fantastic. Shuoer do a fantastic job tuning in most of the earphones I've heard. I really like the H27 and the tape, the original tape, not so much the tape pro. They make really good stuff, and I believe that they OEM for a lot of different companies as well. So the chances are you've probably seen this, their technology in another earphone. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. The only caveat and the only thing that I didn't like about it was the cable, and it's not because it's a bad cable, it's purely because the other companies at this price point offering Tribrids are including a better cable with their package. Overall, I think it's well priced. I think this is $599, $549. That's really well priced. It's competitive. It's an EST Tribrid. What more is there to say? What more is there to like about this? So recommend this one. Next up is the Zens, I think, and we've got the big cable comparison shootout coming out next week, and as well as the $1,000 earphone shootout that I'm going to do between Fearless Audio Roland, Campfire Audio, Dorado 2020, Solaris 2020, Roland, original Solaris, Vega, and I think some Noble earphones as well. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff coming out in the next week. So if you want to be watching that, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be in with a chance to win any of the prize draws, then subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching, guys. See you on the next one.